Welcome to Refresh everyone. Let's get started without wasting any time. First news is about oil prices. Oil prices climbed to nearly 3-week highs on Monday as fears over tight global supply grew, with the deepening crisis in Ukraine raising the prospect of heavier sanctions by the West on top exporter Russia. Brent futures were up $1.09, $112.79 a barrel after hitting its highest since March 30 of $113.80 earlier in the session. Next news is about inflation. India's annual wholesale price based inflation accelerated to record 14.55% in March from the previous month's 13.11%, government data showed on yesterday. Next news is about Zydus Life Sciences. Zydus Life Sciences has received final approval from US FDA to market cyanocobalamin injection. Cyanocobalamin injection is used to treat and prevent lack of vitamin B12. The drug will be manufactured at the group's injectable manufacturing facility at Jarod, Gujarat. Next news is about semiconductors. India will consume semiconductors of about 70 to 80 billion dollar to manufacture electronic products worth 300 billion dollar by 2026 in the line. Next news is about Amway India. Assets worth over rupees 757 crore belonging to multi-level marketing scheme promoting company Amway India have been attacked under the anti-money laundering law, the Enforcement Directorate said on April 18. The provisionally attacked properties of Amway India Enterprises, land and factory building at Dingul district in Tamil Nadu, plant and machineries, vehicles, bank accounts and fixed deposits. Out of total rupees 757.77 crore of assets attached under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, immovable and movable properties are worth rupees 411.83 crore, while the rest are bank balance of rupees 345 crore kept in 36 accounts belonging to Amway. Next news is about Dehaat. Agri-tech startup Dehaat is acquiring a majority stake in Bangalore-based ready-to-cook processed food startup Ycook. Dehaat, which had raised one of the biggest fundraisers among agri-tech startups in India last year, will hold close to 75.5% stake in Ycook, including secondary purchases and ESOP pool on a fully diluted basis. Next news is about Naples Global and Legal Pay. US-based hedge fund Naples Global has partnered with litigation and interim finance provider Legal Pay to launch a $5 million, about 37 crore rupees fund. The fund will focus on protecting the rights of Indian founders that are in dispute with their company's board. Next news is about Edtech startup. Mumbai-based Edtech startup Keeper is raising around $35 million in a Series B round of funding. The fresh round will be led by new investor QED Investors in participation with Atlanta US and Aviskar Capital. Next news is about Mindtree. Mindtree, the Mumbai-based mid-cap IT company, on April 18 reported a consolidated net profit of rupees 473.1 crore for the quarter ended March 2022, registering an on-year growth of 49%. On a sequential basis, the growth in profit is 8%. The Larsen and Toubro Group company had reported consolidating profit after tax of rupees 317.3 crore during the corresponding period a year ago. Its profit after tax during the last quarter stood at rupees 437.5 crore. The revenues at rupees 2,897.4 crore for the quarter registered a growth of 37% over the year ago period. On a quarterly basis, the growth in the revenues has been 5%. Next news is about sugar export. India's sugar export witnessed an astounding growth of 291% from $1,177 million in financial year 2014 to $4,600 million in financial year 2022. Sugar export jumped 65% in 2021 to 2022, corresponding to previous year. The growth was achieved despite logistical challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic in the form of high freight rates, container shortages, etc. Next news is about Elon Musk and Twitter. The former SEC chairman Harvey Pitt said Twitter does not know how to deal with this Elon Musk situation. He said he would give the Twitter's board an F. He suggests that Twitter need to check out whether this was a real bid. If it is, then they needed to do what was in the best interest of their shareholders. Tesla CEO, having a 9.2% stake in Twitter, offered to buy it for $54.20 a share. Next news is about European stocks. European equity started on a negative note today as investors become cautious about the economic impact of war. This was noticed after Russia launched a new attack in Ukraine and the World Bank reduced its global growth forecast. The stock's 600 share index plunged 0.7% during the morning session, while London's FTSE 100 edged 0.1% lower and Germany's Xtra DAX slipped 0.5%. Next news is about Sarda Enengy. Sarda Energy and Minerals Limited board meeting is scheduled for Saturday, April 23. The board of directors will consider the proposal for buyback of equity shares of the face value of ₹10 each of the company and matters related buyback and the proposal for declaration of interim dividend for the financial year 2021 and 2022. At around 12:49 pm, the stock was trading per piece down. Next news is about Godavari Biorefineries. Godavari Biorefineries eyeing to launch its initial public offering IPO aggregating to 700 crore rupees anytime soon. The Mumbai-based ethanol and bio-based chemical maker is only waiting for the right time while observing the geopolitical situation. Its CEO and MD Samir Somaya apprised that the company has 1 year time to get listed as they got SEBI's final comments on their IPO request in November 2021. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching video. If you like our video, please subscribe the channel. See you tomorrow.